Hi there, I'm Scott. Welcome to my channel, CineRam. In this video, I want to tell you a little bit about the playlists devoted to my own stuff that you'll find on my channel. If you look at the playlist page on my channel, the playlists are in kind of a random order except for what's been updated most recently. So it might be a little difficult to find any particular playlist, and so I thought I'd make a video describing each one, and in the video description below you'll find the links to each one. They're all very neat and organized. The first playlist I'd like to talk about is one that I did in 2017 called the Decades of Action Challenge. I spent basically an entire year watching one action movie per week for each of the last 50 years. There was this writer on a website who listed them all and wrote about them and decided to watch each one and make a video about them. That's on the all on one playlist right here that I had made at that time. A couple years before that, I made something called the 20-Year Film Festival, where I selected 14 movies, one for each day of a 14-week period, from a particular year, starting with 1995 and going through 2014. So that's when I finished it, is in late 2014, early 2015. It's kind of a weird experiment, but something that I found kind of interesting. I enjoy sort of sorting films like that, and so I basically devoted one video to 7 movies each, talking about ones that I liked, and I might change some of those recommendations if I were to do that now, but the videos that I made at that time were all in this one place right here, the 20-Year Film Fest. When I first got on YouTube, it was 2009, and I spent that year making a series of videos, one per month, called Best of the Decade, where I went through basically like everything from each year of like the 2000s, I guess. Right, I started with 2000, ended with 2009, and I basically picked 3 movies and invited people to guess which one was like the best of the lot, and then I did a video at the end on the best of the decade, top 10 movies of the decade. I didn't have a lot of viewers back then, so I didn't get a lot of attention for it. I didn't really seek out other film fans at that time. I was just hoping that film fans would find me. But that was one of the first big projects that I did when I first got on YouTube and started making videos regularly. That was shortly after I posted my very first video on YouTube in December of 2008. So that's on there. I made a game out of it too. There were some prizes involved, I think. In 2013, I turned 40, and so I decided to look back at movies from the year I was born, because I'd only seen a few of them. I have a few favorites. I had a few favorites at that time, but I wanted to take the opportunity to watch a lot more. So throughout 2013 and the first part of 2014, I watched a whole bunch of 1973 movies, and then I decided which ones I liked the best. And so there's a 1973 film series playlist on my channel where you can watch any one of those videos from that time. One playlist that I actually made pretty recently that I hadn't actually done a little series on it but hadn't put it together in a playlist. Tragic sci-fi romances. My favorite sub-genre is the tragic sci-fi romance, and there are a few films that fall into that category that I'm particularly fond of, and so I decided to make a few videos about them, and so they're all on this new playlist right now that you can see. Links to all these, of course, are below in the description. And then we have the Director's Series. This is actually multiple playlists, but they all fall into the category of Director's Series. I started my first one in 2010 with another YouTuber named Victoria, and then I did a few more in 2012, and I really haven't updated a lot of them with more recent movies, but the ones that I focused on were David Fincher, Martin Scorsese, Paul Thomas Anderson, David Lynch, Christopher Nolan, Steven Soderbergh, Quentin Tarantino, Joss Whedon, and Robert Zemeckis. And then I did a couple other videos in which I basically skimmed through the whole director's filmography just in one video. Those guys were Michael Bay and Darren Aronofsky. So all those playlists, all of them, are below in the description. You can look at any one of them if you feel like it. Then we have the series that I just finished this year in August, Biggest Movie Summer Ever, in which I looked back at particular summer movie seasons and looked at their highlights and lowlights and tried to determine which was the biggest movie summer of all. Spoiler alert, it's 1999. That's the one I picked for like the biggest movie summer of all, the one that seemed like to have the biggest impact on culture just all by itself. Anyway, that playlist is below, of course, as is the others. I did a playlist, I did a series of videos on the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I made a video after watching each episode, And I haven't done that with any other series, and I haven't done it with the series since then, despite the fact the show's gotten much better, a lot of people believe, since that first season. But all those videos are on there if you want to see what or hear what I thought of all those early episodes. There's another little series that I have attempted to do a couple of times, but haven't been very successful at, called March Monologueness. I'm a big fan of movie speeches, long bits of exposition and other speeches by movie characters, and so I decided that it would be fun to try and memorize and recite on camera with no editing some of those. And I did about 5 of them over the course of like 2 years. I tried to do them all in March, but it just didn't work out that way because I found I didn't have a lot of time to practice, and it just didn't work out. But I've got a few on there, as well as some other people that I invited to join in with that. They also did some monologues of their own, and so they're all on this one playlist right here. A couple of them I'm particularly proud of, even though I didn't get to do as the quantity that I liked. I've been a part of a couple of collabs, and so I've got some videos related to that. TMR 100 is the Movie Reviewers 100. I joined in 2011 and still tried to continue making videos, I think in like 2016, but there are long periods of time which I didn't do anything, in which interest really dropped off in collab channels. It seems like there was a time when collab channels were very popular and a lot of people were getting involved in them, but people move on. They just lose interest. So I've got a lot of videos on there, but instead of going to the channel, the Movie Reviewers 100 channel, I've got all my reviews, the one that still exists anyway, on one big playlist on my own channel, and that's where you find it right there. There was also briefly another collab that I was a part of, not really a channel, but each one of us would post videos on a particular movie. We'd decide ahead what the movie would be. I like doing that, and so I was glad to participate, but that didn't last very long. Anyway, those videos are on something called RTF Club. Real Talk Film Club. That's right, Real Talk Film Club. That's what it's called. It's been a little while since I've done any of that. Anyway, those are most of the playlists devoted to my work here on YouTube. There's one more playlist that I just completed recently, and I simply call it The Very Best of CineRam. No particular category, just the videos that I think turned out the best, or the ones that I'm most proud of. They're all in one place. Your opinion may differ as to whether or not they're actually good or not, because most of them are just me talking to camera, but there's a few performance-oriented stuff, and, you know, break up the monotony a little bit by doing something other than just me sitting in front of a camera and rambling on for 50 minutes. No, that's 50 minutes, not 15. Yeah, I've done that too, but not often. Anyway, all those playlists, of course, you will find below in the description, as well as a link to the other 2 videos that I made talking about all the stuff that you'll find on my channel. As I said, I've got this anniversary, and so I decided to do just sort of an overview of all the stuff on mine, since haven't been making many new videos lately. I might start up again soon. You know, every once in a while I get the bug. I get the bug to sit down and start talking about stuff on camera and posting it and inviting other people to comment and what have you. And I haven't been doing a lot of that lately, but who knows what the future could bring. I mean, got a whole new year, 2019, coming up. Got the whole climax of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know, with Avengers 4. And they're going to continue on after that, but this is like really like the big finale. So maybe I'll do a big series on Marvel Cinematic Universe. It wouldn't be the craziest idea, seeing as how I've seen every single one of those movies multiple times. Except for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Only saw that once. Thank you very much for watching, and much appreciate your attention. Take it easy.